Hello, everyone. This is the team number 5, Oliver and Odette. Well, as a part of the part tour, I'm going to explain the following mind map is focused on models of subject knowledge for teaching. According to Banks, who propose a tripartite division of interrelated subject knowledges, we have three main concepts. The first one is subject knowledge. This is the first step to be a reflective English teacher. We have three main ideas. National curriculum needs like the rules that a good teacher need to follow, where the teacher can visualize a lot of issues and contents, and that's the following concept. Contents, it's about and specific rules and ideas about what English is and how it's necessary to tough. Um, Then we have auto-evaluation, and this is an important part because a good teacher need to be auto-evaluate frequently. And in this case, teacher need to visualize here or his skills or some issues about his personality, his knowledge in English subject. Well, the next concept is the school knowledge. This part is focused on school environment, school atmosphere. For example, focus on in the building, in classroom, and some biotic and abiotic elements that could affect in a good or in a bad way the process of learning and even the process of teaching. For example, we have a school context, how political or ethical and educational issues can impact the educational institution. Um, Also, national curriculum is involved in this case. Curricular issues, for example, uh, what English involves and how to be explained this subject, or even some things about the atmosphere in the place where you gonna teach English as a second language or as a subject. And also, in addition, we have school environments. It's all that could impact this process of learning and teaching, and even and the knowledge, in order to improve knowledge, um, is teacher knowledge and student knowledge. And at last but not least, we have the theory tip. It's pedagogic knowledge is focused on rapport. Rapport, it's the harmonious and friendly relationship between the student and teacher and student. A good student need to have his special, unique skills to share knowledge and engage the knowledge in a better way. For example, teaching effectively, um, you need to, after auto evaluation and after known school environments, then a teacher um, uh, can teach in a better way, in a spontaneous and effectively way. And the next idea is very important: suitable condition and activities. In this part, a good teacher needs to be creative, patient, respectful, innovate with activities that a student it's cuff, and catch the attention of the student, and harmony conquer the class in general, and making creative activities, uh, good activities, and even funny activities. It's a good way to teaching and learning English language as a subject. Finally, learning read, readiness. It's the path, or the right path of the right process where students engage knowledge, and not only engage but also share this knowledge with other person, and in the future when they become teacher or translator, they can share this. they, they will be able to engage and share this knowledge. So to sum up, it's important to have a good teacher in order to have a good students. That's the right path, and that's it for this part. Let's move on to the next part of the presentation, and that will be gonna be explained for my classmate Odette.
Now, to continue with this presentation, we are going to see the perspective that Grossman has about the subject knowledge for teaching. And Grossman recognizes four categories. The first one is content knowledge. As you can see, this equates with the Banks term that my classmate Oliver previously explained. So the subject knowledge for Banks is the same for the content knowledge for Grossman. The next one is the substantive knowledge. A brief explanation is the nature of inquiry within the subject. For inquiry, we know, or we could say that it is how the teacher acquires his knowledge. For example, a teacher can acquire a type of knowledge of a discipline through majoring courses, dialogues with colleagues, people who are specialized in a determined discipline. Uh, she, or they, the teacher, is going to decide what to share with the student. In, for example, a history student may consider that it is important for the students to know the most important events of history rather than the ones that he or she find more interesting, and that is what he is going to share. According to the versions of the knowledge of a discipline that the teacher has, is the way he or she is going to establish the relationship with the student. For example, if a teacher who is in a lawyer majoring uh, acquires a type of knowledge from a major course or a course that is more specialized in the discipline, he or she could have like a debate or a dialogue with their colleagues in a more professional way. But now in the classroom, he has to determine the level to explain to the students since they don't have the same level or amount or specialization of the knowledge of the discipline. So we say that the teacher needs to adequate the knowledge for the learners, and that's where synthetic knowledge comes in. It is the methods of inquiry within the subject. This includes, for example, types of evidence or proof that are accepted in the determined area that we are studying. For example, in English, we are going to talk about grammar rules and the basis of them. And we are going to use dictionaries, books specialized in grammar, examples, practices in which the student actually applies the knowledge. Here is not so focused on the content, but rather on the process, on um, how the teacher doses the knowledge to the student, how he or she would introduce the students slowly or in a considerable rhythm to the discipline. However, it is important to say that even though learners start with a determined level and they cannot be introduced in a rough way to the topic that is going to be seen or the discipline that is to be studied, it is important to say that at the end of the course, if they if the learners are still on the same level of knowledge and capabilities as they were in the beginning, it is important for the teacher to analyze their methods, their strategies, and the knowledge that they gave to the students. Because if the level does not improve, means that something is wrong. So we are talking about a constant self-evaluation of the teacher, their knowledge, their methods, techniques that they imply on the classroom and on their students, and that is related to the beliefs about subject matter. This takes into account individual teachers' values and assumptions about their subject, the importance that this has on the learner's development and knowledge. For example, for some teachers, they consider more important to fully establish the knowledge of grammar in the students, and rather than starting to develop their skills, they just focus on the theoretical knowledge rather than the practical. And for others, it's the total opposite. They consider that starting developing the skills, for example, for listening, speaking, is way more important than actually having a theoretical knowledge. And for others, they think of the balance of these two, that it's important to have the background knowledge but also to apply. But whatever the perspective that a teacher has, it should not interfere with the learner's freedom to choose what they consider is more important for their development as professionals, as students, as English speakers. And so this would be for our subject or presentation about the models for teaching. And as a summary, we first saw the bank's perspective, which includes subject knowledge, pedagogic, and school knowledge. And something in common with Grossman is that they agree on the content knowledge, but just change the name. And then Grossman He adds the synthetic knowledge, the content knowledge, the beliefs about subject matter, and the substantive knowledge.